All right. What's going on? Facebook. For the first time, you're getting some of this live goodness from War Media. Welcome to the Sunday night special, as I'm calling it. About an hour that we're going to do every Sunday night for the football season. Just use this time to have fun recapping the events from this week in the NFL and everything. And just chop it up. Hope we have some guests. I was expecting to have a guest sitting with me as we begin here today, but we'll see if they're not here yet. We'll see if they'll jump on. But doing this on Facebook, it was looking to up the interaction, the live interaction with the show. So hopefully, you come across this while I'm still on. Feel free to, put in a comment or whatever if you want to brag on your team winning or let off some steam about your team losing, or just ask some questions or whatever. If you got anything that you want to say, feel free to let us know. And just want to, like I said, get some interaction up here and have some fun. Like I said, going over football and stuff. It's been an interesting first week one, as they typically are. Unique in the fact that there was no run up to this, no preseason games, no, none of the typical stuff that we see in leading up to an NFL season because of the pandemic. But the effect that it had on the gameplay, I don't know. You could definitely see some sloppiness there throughout the games, but I don't think it was too pronounced as you would see with any other week one. Teams in the NFL got to take some time to get going. Wherever however much you play before week one, it just seems to be that's how it is for these teams and stuff. So we check out on Facebook here, looking all right. We are RegalRadio.com, War Media. But just going into what transpired here in week one. The Bears here in Chicago, we got a win to our credit and help us with our sanity. At least in the end, it was back and forth there for quite a bit, and everybody was down on Mitch again. I was gonna really planning to lay into him and Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace and the whole team, but in the end, they saved their butts at least for a week and pulled out a 27-23 win. I'll go more into that in a minute, but wild day in general in Chicago sports. With the Cubs, the no-hitter with the Cubs and the Sox keep on pushing, man, and they're the top team in the AL record-wise, and really just a unique day in Chicago sports. So you get the Bears winning. There we go. What's up, Wes? Resilient there. Yeah, man. They pulled it out in the end, man. Cardiac stuff there, man. The first win and we go to the World Series. Sox might do it. And the Cubs might be there with them still, but the Sox are looking real good, man. Sox looking real good. But back to the Bears. We're gonna talk some more about the Sox throughout the week and stuff. But it's back to the Bears. 27-23 win. First win on the opening week since 2013. So, that alone is cause for celebration. How much so it depends on your point of view. Probably how much you back Mitchell Trubisky in general, how much you backed him going into this week in this season. I think for me, it's a tear. It's sort of a tearing thing. It tears. I'm torn apart in a way because, um, you know, Mitch actually did play good for 3 quarters in this game, but his start was just so bad, so resoundingly bad. it just it just puts you in a bad mood right away going into the season. And it's like whatever faith and hope that you have, you got to go through that whole up and down roller coaster feeling of like, oh, here we go. But then you have the backup, Foles at hand, and it's like, okay, we're starting this process. You feel like you're starting this process where, okay, we about to get Mitch out of here, and we gonna see what Foles got, and maybe for Foles, he's got to be the one who's gonna get us in contention. We got to get Mitch out, but then all of a sudden, Mitch starts making these throws that you forget that he can make because he goes so long without making these throws. He's so, like I said, inconsistent. Like Wes says, overthrows, inconsistencies. He's like, I was wondering throughout the game. Like I think there's one point where Stafford did like 7 in a row, and I just was wondering like, what would it take for Mitch to get 7 throws in a row off, to get 7 completions? How perfect would the situation have to be for him to get in that situation and be able to go off? But that being said, in the fourth quarter, he winds up going 8 for 10, which it's not 7 in a row, but it's damn close. And it's is he really does have some grit about him. You can't deny that. Like when he gets, maybe it's just he's too stupid to get to get stressed out to really acknowledge the situation that he in, but he can be in some stress situations and really come through, really not be stressed out. Like with Cutler had the talent to be able to rise to the occasion, but a lot of times he would just, zone out or get frazzled in some way, or just emotionally check out in some way that would allow him to mess up, like and throw those crucial interceptions that would kill the Bears. Really, when you look at Mitch doesn't do those type of mistakes. He just sort of lucks up into positions where, okay, now I got to make one throw to win the game. And in this case, if that one throw was that last throw, the touchdown. And, it was a hell of a throw, man. Like I said, you remember that in the moment when he does those plays, you remember that he can make those plays, but you just have to go through like so much time, 50 minutes a game, where it's like, he doesn't show that at all. It pisses you off. In this, it's like I put it up on Twitter. It's like Pookie and New Jack, man. It's a sense that they keep calling you. I was ready to, I texted with Demons about the third quarter of the game. He was saying that he was going out to the store. He was through with the game. I was, turning over to baseball and to the playoff game, the NBA playoff game, taking advantage of the rare instance that we had an NBA playoff game during NFL Week 1. So I was looking at the Clippers, about to look at the Clippers and Nuggets dive into that. Then I turned back to the Bears, and all of a sudden they're down 10. They got down as much as 23-6. Then it becomes 23-13. Then they get 23-20. And they just took it all the way. And this, the defense comes up with a big play there. You need the defense. I think in the first half they didn't show up, but the second half they was able to make some plays. They end up getting an interception with Kyle Fuller off the tip, I think, from Jackson. And you're gonna need at least one player like that every week with the Bears defense, as long as the offense is still inconsistent as it is. Make or break. But they did everything that they had to again to win. But the one thing we have to keep in mind is they did against the Lions. The Lions are gonna lion. They lined their asses out of a win in this one. They had, I think if you put, you talk about the top half of the NFL, top 16 teams, 15, 16 teams. The Bears probably don't beat any of those teams with this effort today. But the Lions aren't in that top half. So they're in the bottom half, along with arguably the Bears. So, if you look at the Lions and their history of just defeating themselves, and you look at it from that point of view, how Mark says that, yeah, my man Mark. I don't feel how you have to recognize that. We're Bears fans. We've been in the division with Detroit all our lives. We've seen them defeat themselves many times, sometimes against us, many times against other teams. So it's like it sort of undercuts the positivity that goes along here. It's overall I am positive. I think the team should be positive. I'm pretty sure they're not tripping about anything that the media says or anybody else, any other observers like myself who are just, we're holding our emotions because we don't want to get our hearts broke. Quite frankly, we don't want to. We're definitely not going to jump out on a ledge and be like, oh, we about to be Super Bowl contenders now because we beat Detroit in week 1 barely. Nobody's about to do that. If you're intelligent enough about the game, you're not about to do that. But them as a team, I'm sure they're feeling really good. They have to feel that they played as bad of a game as they probably could have played in the opening week, and they still pulled out a win. And they did it against a rival. They did it in division, which counts well. And when you look at the rest of the division who played themselves in week 1, Minnesota and Green Bay. Green Bay came out strong, got a nice win over Minnesota, gave up, quite a few garbage points, but I think Green Bay looks strong. So it looks as usual like that they're going to be in the way of the Bears when it comes to trying to get a division title. So you want to get as much wins against Detroit and Minnesota as you can, because them games against Green Bay going to be a struggle. And, that's what it comes down to in the North. And I'm just interested to see how it plays out. I think the Bears can feel confident that they could beat Detroit on any given day. I don't know if Minnesota is going to be any type of threat, but like I said, Green Bay is going to be there, and unless some beef pops off again between LaFleur and Rodgers, you're probably looking at a multi-digit win team up there in Green Bay. So, if they're not sabotaging themselves, which they rarely do, they're going to be a playoff team. The Packers are. So the Bears got to, they got to be not only physically strong, but they got to be mentally strong going forward, and try to gain as much confidence as they can in this win, even if it was a slightly fluky win. And that's another thing that I noticed in seeing comments and stuff online with throughout the day. A lot of people were resigned to saying 2018 was a fluke because 2019 was what it was, and you started off 2020 looking like a loser for most of the time. But it shows you why you don't assume things, why you don't jump out the window early, because you never know, especially with the Bears. The Bears just are funny that way, where they often do the least expected things when when the people think they got them written up, got them figured out. They go left on some other stuff. And that was something that we said in our preview, of NFL preview on the Varsity Show last Thursday. The Bears are oftentimes, they have their best seasons when when the least is expected of them. And looking into this season, seeing people predicting consistently third and fourth place finishes in the North. I saw, I think SI, prognosticator for SI put them at 3-13 coming up. I don't think they're gonna be that bad, but are they going to be 13-3? They that's the kind of season they've had. They've had seasons like that though. In 2001, they had a season like that. Kind of 2005 when the first year before the Super Bowl year, when they sort of got that team on the map with Lovey. That was sort of a year like that where they just broke out. And 18 was like that. Nobody really thought they were going to be a division winner and enter in 2018. So, there's the possibility is there for 2020. If they just, play the games right, focus on the games in front of them. If they have if they have injuries, if they have a lack of injuries, not many injuries, they don't have to deal with, injuries were tough on them last year, especially on defense. If they don't have to deal with that this year, that'll be a big key. And Mitch, I think ideally you will want Mitch to keep the job, to play well enough to keep the job. You wouldn't want to have a back and forth thing, or you would want him to be so bad where that he's gone, that that his time is done. He has to really suck. And given that his contract, the fifth year on his contract wasn't renewed by the team, fifth year being after this year, this is his fourth year he's playing now. If he goes out this year and he loses the job to Foles at any point, you got to figure that Mitch is done as a starting quarterback in the league, and likely done as a quarterback at all with the Bears. So, that really, I think when a lot of people ask, why would you start Mitch? Why, how bad was Foles to allow Mitch to still be the starter? Well, there wasn't really no competition. I mean, you have to think about these things. There wasn't really a competition at quarterback. Foles is there as insurance. He was out. That's his role. And then when you ask about why they got somebody like Foles as opposed to Cam Newton, who we'll get into a little bit later, you give Foles because you can pass off Foles being the backup, no matter what Mitch does in practice. If you put Mitch in practice and have him play against Cam Newton in practice, you can't pawn that off to the media. You can't pawn that off to Chicago and say, our guy Mitch here he's still the man here. We got this former MVP here who's healthy now, but we still running with Mitch because that's our guy. No, you can't put off that narrative, but you can do that with Foles, because Foles is typically a backup. He just had that one run where he pulled off a championship, but my man Ryan Bukoveski said it best. In our previews, he said, his value, Foles' best value was as the cleanup guy. So if the cleanup is needed, then that's where Foles is here for. And then the price, you may disagree with the price that was made to get him, but that's what it is. The Bears will eat that. And I don't think it really has much of an effect on their overall building process right now. They're really not building at all. They're trying to work with what they got. And if like I say, you either want that cleanup process to start soon, right? Almost right away in this first month of the season, or you got to hope that Mitch gets over the hump in some way. Will probably never be a clean guy who will just dazzle you quarter after quarter. He'll probably have at least one trash quarter every game in a couple plays where you're just like, what the hell? But he shows enough times that if you put him in a position to win, he can get you a win. And that's why he's the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears right now. And that's why he will be for the foreseeable future, unless he just really goes down the drain or he gets injured. You don't necessarily want that, if he gets injured. Because, again, that puts out the question of, well, if he was healthy, he'll be fine. But him being injured, it just throws in a variable that you don't want the whole thing. You want the team to be like, straight up, we can't win with him. There can't be any questions about health that's fogging that up. But yeah, that's enough for the Bears right now. I'm looking at the game going on right now. Dallas and the Rams. You got Dax out there. Dax is the 10th of 10 black quarterbacks who have started in week 1, which is, that is an NFL record. I put up this tweet that shows that. But yeah, 10 quarterbacks, black quarterbacks starting in the NFL this week is really dope. And not only are they starting, they're winning. So let's go over these guys here. You got Dax in contention for a win. Up at the top, you got, 2 black quarterbacks in one game. Of course, the opener, Mahomes and Watson. Of course, some people here call that the Ryan Pace Bowl because he, screwed up with both of them. Didn't get either one in 2017. But, we all know the story there. And, yeah, so Mahomes wins that one. Of course, only one could win that game. Going down, you got Bridgewater. Bridgewater took the L. He's the only one of this group who we know is taking the L this week. Outside of Watson, and that may be because his coach is crap down there in Carolina. We don't know that yet, but I'm guessing it's gonna be. I'm kind of leaning towards him being crap. You got. Let me get back to this. You know what the hell am I? Okay, there we go. Yeah, my man Haskins down in Washington, no longer the Slurs. He picked up the upset win with Philly. Of course, Cam did his thing, beating Miami in his debut with the Patriots. Jackson, the MVP, man, dominating still, man. Got to watch out for those Ravens. They dominated Cleveland again. The vet, Russell Wilson, another great performance for him with Seattle. They pulled out a win. And, Kyler Murray pulled out a win. Tyrod Taylor won in his big first start with Los Angeles Chargers. They barely beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati should have won that one, but hey, to the victor goes the spoils. And now you have Dak. Dak, see down 6, as you can see on NBC right now. But man, you talking about maybe 8 wins from the black quarterbacks, and only 9 could have won. So that's pretty dope, man. Just recognizing that history, recognizing that sea change that's going on in the league right now, man. Representing black leadership. I think that is the type of thing that more so than putting end racism in the back of the end zones, or having Alicia Keys sing the black national anthem. I think having black quarterbacks pushing the league and holding the league on their shoulders, that represents the type of black power that I want to see in the NFL, in the context of the NFL. It's good that the NFL is coming around to social change and all that stuff. And, they want to, I'd be glad to see them let their players make more statements and not be hassled, and not worry about, statements that come from, our crooked commander in chief in Washington. That's not, you got to empower these players, man. There should have been a generation or two ago, at least, where this league should have seen this coming. They should have started already to embolden their players, embolden black men in their game, and allow them to be leaders, and allow them to stand up for things that they want in life, and stand up for things that they think are important in our society. And that type of thing maybe could have led to more coaches, more black men in coaching positions, more black people in front office positions already, instead of looking like a regular 20th century organization. The NFL could be more like the NBA. They could have been more like the NBA and been at the front of this, because they have the history and the breakdown, the right breakdown, to be able to be relevant in these times. And I said, it's better late than never, I guess. The NFL, like I said, NFL screwed up with Kaepernick. We all know that. I was gonna make a joke when I was thinking about in my beginning for this show. I was gonna make a joke about Kaepernick revealing himself under a mask of Jackson's face and saying it was him all along. That hasn't happened. Nobody's writing a story like that. But in reality, we really do have Jackson out there, and we have we have Cap in his role. He's not going to play football anymore, but he's still, I think he's recognized more importantly as a man who sparked something, and is going to be felt throughout the remaining history of the NFL and throughout our social progress overall. So, I don't think nobody's going to forget Cap anytime soon, and nobody's going to forget these, most of these quarterbacks that started today, maybe even all of them. I think that you look at them up and down, they're a pretty special group. And especially, you look at Mahomes and Jackson already, MVP caliber players, and Cam and Russell Wilson are already established MVP players, and possible Hall of Famers. And Dak is possibly going to be a highest paid player in the league at some point. Or top 2 or 3 at least. And it's just really a great group of guys, man, who are really setting the tone in the league, and like I say, making the change at the most important position, the position of power and glamour in the NFL. So, man, big ups to all those guys, man, for what they're doing. And going back to that, to that group, is probably the best story overall from that group today is Cam. And definitely, definitely glad to see that he had a good start with the Pats, and did his thing mostly as he does it. He threw for just over 200 yards. He wasn't a big, he's not that big gunslinger dude like Brady is, but he runs the ball. He ran that ball like vintage Cam, and he got a couple touchdowns, and uh, just really powered that team like he knows he can. And you know, the Patriots. The good thing about him going to the Patriots is that the Patriots do the smart thing with their talent. They don't disregard an elite talent like Cam, like some other teams. Chicago in general, Chicago in particular, who seem to just be hung up on their systems that they're running, and they act like they can't take on a talent like Cam Newton, who can do basically whatever you want to do to get you a win. But yeah, Josh McRoberts and Belichick and all those guys up there, they're smart enough to make what they do fit to any talent. And I think they're going to be off and running with Cam. I don't know if they're necessarily going to dominate in the same way that they're used to. That AFC East, Buffalo looked kind of good today, and if Allen, the quarterback, Josh Allen up there in Buffalo, if he's getting off numbers like he did today, and not turning the ball over and doing stuff like that, man, you got some talent there on both sides of the ball. Offense and defense. Got some good runners up there. I like Devin Singletary, a young runner up there, and Buffalo can make some noise and definitely make the playoffs again. If wait, play again. I should have said again. I should look that up. But they're a playoff contender, I would say, and be interested to see how they in New England face off in the season to come. But New England, I think nothing much. I don't think they have nothing much to worry about overall when it comes to their season. They're going to be contending again. They did the right thing. They took advantage of a lot of stupidity in the NFL with these storylines. People, just really the idea of Cam being completely washed was idiotic. He just had to get healthy. He had to have the time to get healthy, and he's at a point right now where this is a team that just put out a 42-year-old quarterback last year. So you're talking about you're not gonna put out a guy who's over 10 years younger with the physicality of Cam Newton. You think they're not gonna take that and run with it? Of course they are. They know what to do with him. And on the other hand, you talk about that 42, 43-year-old now Brady down there in Tampa Bay. Didn't look so good today in that opener against 41-year-old Drew Brees in New Orleans. Drew looked like he had a little more pep in his step. I think a little bit more chemistry built in with his weapons as well. Be interested to see what comes of Thomas, though. Like he got a little hurt in that towards the end of that game, but Kamara looks as beastly as ever, making big plays, and they got Emmanuel Sanders down there. They got players, man, and New Orleans got out on the lead and was able to hold it against Tampa Bay. Brady, a couple interceptions, looked at times like he looked at the end of his run with New England, especially in that playoff game against Tennessee, where he just wasn't on point. And that Tennessee defense really took advantage of him and made him, didn't really make him turn the ball over. They just got in positions where they knew he was going to be. We got 20 years of footage on Brady. There's a lot of footage on him, so it's not if you're a skilled, intelligent defense, you should be able to know quite a bit about what he's going to do before he does it. And Tennessee showed that in the playoffs last year, and New Orleans, I think, showed a little bit of that this year as well. They were able to make some plays and keep Tampa Bay back in some ways that that they didn't expect probably some of these mistakes early on, but I, I I think it was sort of written in the cards for them. It doesn't mean that they're going to have a bad year or that Brady's going to be a one and done guy, but that could be a possibility. And I'm wondering, like, is dude, as much as he said he would like to play till he's 45 or older and stuff, is he really gonna want to deal with this if it gets bad, if it gets particularly bad? This wasn't the easy assignment for week one for them, of course. But if he's doing this against Carolina or you know other subpar teams that they know that they can beat, that they feel going in that they know they can beat, if he's doing this at home, whether they have a crowd or not, and he's getting a bad response from Tampa Bay people, and what kind of Gulliver's Travels type stuff would that be if a football king like uh, Tom Brady, has to deal with the peasants in Central Florida? It's just wow, I don't need this. But if he's throwing interceptions at the rate of at the rate of Jameis, then Tampa Bay would have all the right to say, why we even take on this old dude? We could have kept our man we had before. He could have gave us 30 touchdowns with the 30 interceptions. We still would have been, but it's gonna. Okay, a little issue there with the connection. Okay, but yeah, like I said, the Tampa Bay Brady match may not be the exact match that they were hoping for, and we'll see how that goes going forward. Yeah, just looking to see what else do I need to talk about. I may not do much talking here. Yeah, unfortunately, none I guess that I would reached out to came through, and shout out to my day one homie Wes for jumping in and doing some commenting. You could see how he did his thing. That's what we looking to do. We're gonna keep doing this week after week and try to do it a little bigger, um, from week to week with guests and everything. And like I say, you guys commenting if you want to watch along with Sunday Night Football, or if you already, like I say, if you're done watching football for the week, you want to brag on your wins, or uh, exhale on your losses, or whatever, man. Just This is that's gonna be the spot Sunday night special. Like I say, we're gonna keep doing it on Facebook. But our other stuff, most of our stuff we're doing through the week is on YouTube. So War Media on YouTube, search that, and you will find awesome content and shows like In the Scope with Josh Hicks, Second City Sports, which you get twice a week from Lakina McGee and Sid the Kid Brown. And In the Building, our show I do with my peoples, Dave Evans and Willie Ricky White, that we just have fun with that every week, talking about serious issues and not so serious issues, but really just building with each other and cracking jokes and making sure that we're doing all right through these trying times, often trying times. And just I say building. That's what we're gonna do here on Sunday night as well, through the platform of football talk. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just probably leave it at that for this week. Like I said, this week one, interesting, and I'm gonna give it up to the NFL as far as getting these games off. A lot of people, I think myself included, was just weren't really on completely on the football tip entering this week. It was sort of crept up on us. We didn't, like I said, not the same run up, the same preparation that we typically get with football entering a new season. But this, in the moment, I think today we got the sort of stuff that we are used to seeing. And even though, we didn't have the crowds and, it was more quiet. You can hear some players cursing on the field, which you wouldn't get in any other NFL game because there'd be too much crowd noise around them. We still got that energy and that hard play from, competitive play from the guys. And, they've, like I say, they showed out, and it's a good start. Hopefully, it's still weird to have so much sports at a time like this, but if you need it, don't prove anybody right by forgetting about what's real in the world. I think you have to be pretty dumb to forget about what's dumb or negligent in your thinking to forget about what's real in the world, just because sports are on. But if you needed to just sit down at the end of the day and help ease your mind and temporarily take you away from what's real in the world, go ahead, man. Use it as self-therapy. Use it as self-care. And especially if sports has always played that role in your life. So the NFL, like I said, they're trying to be a more awoke entity, trying to be more responsive to the what's changing in the world and what's changing in our society. So hopefully that'll continue. Hopefully they won't buckle to any pressure. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of real pressure, because the people who don't understand change and who are fighting it, maybe they're the ones who are more likely to go out to a game and they'll be more likely to boo the players because they lock arms for some reason. That's worthy of them. They feel that's worth them booing. But there's more. I think there's more of us than them out there. There's more of us into the game of football than there are them. So as long as they keep that in mind, I think they'll make the right moves going forward. And they should listen to their players, keep listening to their players, and the ones who are really out here trying to make a mark and trying to, do things for their community. Keep listening to those players and following their lead. Don't tell them what to do. Let them set the agendas, and because they're the ones who we connect to more than anybody. We don't connect. We're not connected to the owners. We're not connecting to the GMs, the team presidents. maybe one day we can connect more to those people because they can look more like us. But that's not the case right now, and we should keep fighting towards that as a result of all this upheaval right now as well. So, that's just my little thoughts on that. But yeah, I'm gonna chill out though. Uh, glad to jump on, and like I said, I'll be back next Sunday night, and hopefully more of you will be with me as well. And we'll wrap up another week of football. And like I said, every Sunday night we'll do this, except for when the Bears play on Sunday night. Let me get their schedule up quick. I think they usually have at least one Sunday night game. So let's see. So we know next week they got the Giants. They're hosting the Giants at noon. So we'll be back here at noon at 9 next week. And I think we got the Buccaneers here on the 8th and at the Packers on November 29th. So those weeks should be those weeks will be weeks where we'll do this show before Sunday Night Football, before the Bears game. But otherwise we'll do this from between 9 and 10. If it's really good, we'll go a little bit over 10, but I don't know about that. But we'll definitely start at about 9 and go to about 10 with Sunday night special each week. So for now, this is your man Kyle Means signing off. We are RigoRadio.com, War Media. Follow us, subscribe, show us some support, share, comment, whatever, man. Whatever you do with stuff that you like. If you don't like it, let us know. Let us know what you think we should do. If you think we should do better, or if we're not doing something that you want somebody to talk about or cover. Focusing on something that you want talked about or covered. They say just leave a comment. Let us know, because we're about what you guys want, and we're trying to prop up and utilize platforms for people who you don't normally see and hear out here, talking about sports and culture or whatever, So, just trying to do more to interact with our audience and build up, our section of the community out here that, people who are like us, and, people who we mess with and everything like that. So, yeah, just keep riding with us and show us love. We'll show it right back. This, for now, though, this is a Sunday night special, week 1. We'll holler at y'all next week. Same war time, same war channel. Peace.